Shalom, family. Wow. All right, y'all. No, we didn't get started yet, but hopefully it'll be real soon. Some of you might have heard that Daniel Cameron has joined Trump's legal team in challenging states on the election results, which personally I think is a waste of time. You know, we have never seen them call an election and then turn around and switch to someone else. I don't think we're going to see it in this case either. I think Trump is just wasting his time, on something he simply will not be able to change. So we will just give people a little more time to come in and then we'll get started. Hi there, Loretta. You decided to join? Okay. Yeah, well, a lot of people are getting frustrated and they're saying Trump needs to just accept what has happened. You lost and just move on. But as you can see, he doesn't believe in doing that. So it's going to be more of him whining and trying to convince you that there was all this fraud going on that personally I don't believe has happened. And if it is, it's no more fraud than we've seen in any other election. Remember, anything these folks touch is corrupted just by default. It's corrupted. So, hey, this is America. Anything they do is going to be far from perfect. All right, y'all, we got 144 people. I'm going to go ahead and get started. All right, let me share my screen with you. Okay. If you can see my screen, please give me a 1. Shalom to everybody in the chat. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. All right, let's get started here. All right. Trump has put together a legal team in America. It looked like he's finding every corrupt attorney he can get his hands on in America. Because we know Daniel Cameron is like the king of corruption right now when it comes down to the Breonna Taylor case. All right, now let me see if I can get this audio here to work.
I was in a motorcycle accident, pretty significant one.
Never mind. That's commercial. Okay, so Daniel Cameron was tapped by Donald Trump to join in the legal challenge. And one of the first things Daniel Cameron did was urge that the Pennsylvania ballots, the mailed-in ballots be thrown out, which I don't think anything should be thrown out because the president is butt sore over the election results. And that's just my opinion. All right, let's see if we can get this to work now.
Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled 4-3 last month that ballots should be counted if they were postmarked by Election Day and received by November 6th, a move the Louisiana Attorney General compares to a football referee changing the rules halfway through the game.
The referees, which are the judges, don't get to write the rules. That's the legislature. And unfortunately here, we believe that the Pennsylvania Supreme Court did exactly that.
U of L professor of constitutional law Sam Markison says the argument that the RAGA is trying to make is a dangerous one.
They are pushing a theory that I think would lead to the the breakdown of our legal system as it divides power between the states and the federal government, and it would vastly undermine the role of the states in our system.
Marcuson says a state interpreting their own laws is foundational.
In this case, it was the Pennsylvania Supreme Court that decided that this extension was permissible under Pennsylvania election law. That does not violate the federal Constitution, and it does not usurp the role of the Pennsylvania legislature.
In this case, the votes in question have already been separated despite the many unfounded claims they were included in the count.
There is not a single ballot included in the current tally in Pennsylvania that was received after November 3rd. So it is misleading in the extreme to suggest or imply that somehow the count is tainted.
Early on, the president took the lead, but as mail-in ballots were tallied, Biden pulled ahead, first by 5,500, now more than 43,000, a margin much larger than the ballots in question, which is why many experts, including Marcuson, doubt the U.S. Supreme Court will even take up the case.
It's wrong in this particular case to suggest that the courts will decide it. The voters of Pennsylvania already have.
Cameron didn't speak at the briefing, but in a statement, he echoed some of those unfounded claims, saying his interests were not in the courts deciding the winner, but in a fair election process. In Louisville, Caitlin Rest, Wave 3.
Now, this dude got a lot of nerve, don't he? He wants a fair election process, but he sure didn't give anything close to resembling fair to Breonna Taylor. He don't even want her to have her day in court. So, ladies and gentlemen, this came out on November 9th, 2020. Kentucky General Attorney, this is Daniel Cameron, joins the legal challenge urging toss of Pennsylvania mail-in ballots, which I don't think anything should be tossed out. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron joined on the legal action Monday, arguing Pennsylvania mail-in ballots received after Election Day, November 3rd, should be tossed out. He is one of 10 Republican attorney generals across the nation urging the Supreme Court to take up the case. Now, I'm seeing that the Supreme Court really don't want to get involved with this. They're trying to distance themselves from all of this crap that Trump got going. So the Pennsylvania Supreme Court ruled 4-3 last month that ballots should be counted if they are postmarked by November 3rd and received by November 6th. It is a move Louisiana's Attorney General compared to football referees changing the rules halfway through the game, which I don't believe was done. So Cameron did not speak at a briefing, but released a statement on Twitter. He sent a statement out. All right, so he's saying they are pushing a theory that I think would lead to a breakdown of our legal system, and it divides power between the states and the federal government, and it would actually undermine the role of the states in our system. In this case, it is the Pennsylvania Supreme Court that decided that this extension was permissible under Pennsylvania election laws. That does not violate the federal Constitution, and it does not usurp the role of the Pennsylvania legislature. In this case, voters in question have already been separated despite the many unfounded claims they are making, including the count. This is not a single ballot included in the current tally. Now, because, Trump is running around saying all this legal ballots, and illegal ballots. No, they are saying they consider these ballots legitimate that have been counted in Pennsylvania and received by November 3rd. So it is misleading to the extreme to suggest or imply that they somehow are counting, tainted. The counting is tainted in Pennsylvania. President-elect Joe Biden has pulled ahead with more than 43,000 votes in Pennsylvania, a margin much larger than the ballots in question. in which why experts, including the U.S. Supreme Court, will take up the Raga case. It is wrong in this particular case to suggest that the courts will decide it. The voters of Pennsylvania have already made their decision, and they want Joe Biden over Trump. And I think that is really the root of the whole thing. It doesn't matter if he bring in Daniel Cameron. Are you kidding me? This dude? It don't matter if he brings him in. At the end of the day, they're going to go according to the ballots that were casted, in the election, and the majority of them went to Joe Biden after the count. I just don't see how they can continue to drag this thing out and pretend like there is no answer. At the end of the day, you just got a very immature man in his 70s that will not accept the fact that he didn't get his way this time around. And that's it. It is no point in whining and going on about this whole thing. And some people are coming and writing, well, Al Gore. Yeah, well, Al Gore didn't drag this out for an eternity. He didn't. When you go back and look at that case and Florida was in question, that was over. And I think in less than a week, it was over. It did not drag on like this is dragging on. And at the end of the day, Trump is not going to get the presidency. They already told you the president-elect is Joe Biden. Now, I am not a fan of Joe Biden's, but damn, at some point in time, you're going to have to accept what has happened. The election has happened and Joe Biden won. Now, do I like either candidate? No, because I think both men are racist. Both men have done things to undermine the Black community. And Joe Biden is not going to do any more for us than Trump did. These presidents just don't do for the Black community. They don't. They don't do anything for us. And you would be a fool to believe they're going to do something now. They're not going to do anything. They're not. I think for us in the Black community, we just need to get on with life, because a Republican or Democrat, it doesn't matter. They're not going to change our lives. Neither one ever do anything to get us out of this oppression that we're in. Neither one of them make sure that we have a more fair shot at things or filling up the wealth gap by giving us reparations. They're not going to do stuff like that. We already know that. We already know that. And Daniel Cameron being on there, to me, is not a good thing at all. You got a man that is hell-bent on protecting cops and not looking at a victim of a police shooting in his state. That says it all right there. Trump putting him on the team, that is not a plus at all. Yeah, well, I think what happened to Trump, he was raised on a lot of silly ass things. If you remember, he had COVID and he tried real hard to walk around like it was not impacting him at all. He was raised to believe a lot of weird things. His dad claimed if you're sick, that's a weakness. I don't get that. Everybody gets sick. No matter what your best efforts are to keep yourself healthy, everybody ultimately gets sick. So I just think he got a lot of silly things in his head from his upbringing. And just his conduct for losing, that's just one more example of how screwed up he really is. And at the end of the day, y'all, a bunch of white privileged men do not care about the plight of the Black community. Let's be real here. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care. No, the best thing we just going to have to do for self. We never could depend on this, the United States government. If anything, they got more of a record of harming us than helping us. So depending on this government, that's like a big joke. We can't. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Trump really needs to get over himself. Thank you, Cap, for the super sticker. Trump needs to get over himself and his feelings. Now, tomorrow I have an interview that Michael Cohen did with MSNBC and Jason Johnson. And I want you to hear what he has to say about Trump, because you know what? Michael Cohen is probably one of the few people that actually saw Trump's taxes. He's seen them because, remember, he was his personal attorney for 10 straight years. So he saw a lot more than the average person when it comes down to Trump. And one of the things he did see was his taxes. And he said his taxes are criminal. If you saw his taxes, he said one of the things that stood out, he said, if you saw his taxes, you would realize the man is broke. He doesn't have anything. And I had somebody come to my channel and say, that doesn't make any sense. He didn't take his presidential salary. So how could he be broke? And my answer to that is he didn't take that presidential salary because he doesn't want to have to file any more taxes while he was a sitting president in office. It had nothing to do with him having a lot of money. If he takes a salary, then he'll have to file income tax on that salary. He didn't want to do that while he was sitting in office, because by doing that, he's drawing attention to his taxes. It had nothing to do with him having a lot of money. That's just my opinion. Just my opinion. Yeah, well, Daniel Cameron, I just learned to don't expect anything good from this, from that raccoon. This is about as good as it gets. Thank you, Christopher Harris, for the super sticker. I don't expect nothing good from him. Plain and simple. And I'm not surprised he seized the opportunity to jump on Trump's team because, then you're not really focused on Breonna Taylor anymore. So, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my live stream for today. Make sure you come tomorrow because I have the, like I said, I have the clip from MSNBC, and you'll hear some of what Michael Cohen says. And he actually believes Trump is going to disappear from office and just never go back. I mean, I'm just amazed at how we don't see him on TV. Prior to the election, he was on TV every day. Every single day, this man was in front of those cameras. But since he lost, I'm kind of enjoying the fact that his face is not plastered everywhere. So y'all enjoy the rest of your day. It is only 4:22 where I am, and it practically looked like nighttime because, we got rain here. It looks so dark. So everybody, please enjoy the rest of your evening wherever you are. May the Most High be with you and keep you protected. Peace, family.